I recently got asked the question, why would somebody who's in a position of authority, say a, a business leader, an executive, a professional of some kind, a doctor, an attorney, a judge, why would they use a coach when they're new in sobriety? And I thought a little bit about this, and I thought, how could I best describe why it makes sense to have a coach as a professional newly sober? And I thought the best way for me to explain that would be to share some of my experience in being a professional, a practitioner of my business of coaching, an owner of a coaching business, and a person who was at one time new to sobriety. When I first became sober, I was using a coach, thankfully, because I'm not sure that I would have known to tap into that resource, but thankfully I had a coach at the time. I'm a person who believes that if you're a coach, you need to be coached, and so I had a coach. So I became sober, and now my whole focus became staying sober. It became recovery. It became working a 12-step program. It became going to meetings. It became being part of a fellowship. It became all of the things that I feel are very necessary to keep me in a state of sobriety, happy, joyous, free, my goal. So, not that that was a bad thing. I had to stay focused on that. But what coaching did for me, while I was focused on what was most important, my sobriety, coaching gave me a space to work on the stuff that would be important to keep my career moving forward. I had a time to look forward to every week with my coach, during which we talked about what was important to me and what was important to my career at that moment. Was my recovery part of those discussions? Sure, absolutely. But more importantly was the issues of self-awareness that were going to help me get through this transition from non-sober professional to sober professional. There have been so many gifts in that process for me. But I think one of the greatest gifts is the gift of perspective and objectivity that my coach gives to me. I have the freedom and the ability to say what needs to be said. I can, as I've heard it said, in fact my coach uses this term, I can speak the unspeakable, but I can do it and then have an objective person there who can play it back. I can take a listen to what I just said and determine if that's what I really intended. So the biggest gift has been having that space, that sacred space, and I'm not a woo-woo type of coach, so for me to say sacred space isn't just a touchy-feely sort of thing. It is truly a sacred space between a coach and a person being coached to work on that person, to help that person open up so what is important and what is gift within them can emerge. So the whole process of recovery is a process. The whole process of coaching is a process, but they work very, very nicely together. And having been through the transition, one of the things I feel my gift is to the clients that I work with is I have gone through the transition and I've suffered some of the injuries that you probably don't want to have to suffer. And because I've injured myself, so to speak, because I've gotten in my own way, I can help my clients become aware when it's happening to them. The goal to recovery is happy, joyous, free. The goal for coaching is to become aware so you can accept who you are, take action on the things that perhaps you'd like to see changed, and stay in process so that you continuously become aware of newer and deeper issues that can make you the very best possible version of yourself. So that's my spin on why it makes sense to have a coach. If you're a leader and you're in early recovery, it makes sense to have a place you can go with a person you can trust to sort the things out that'll make you as successful as you want to be.